Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how the holographic universe changes everything. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I heard from one of you who said, Tom, I've studied the teachings and never got it. And I get it that imagining creates reality. As you say, imagining is reality. And that I've been in my imaginal act, I've felt it as real. And I get the idea that when you come out of your imaginal act and you're back in 3D reality, that you should deny your senses, deny what you're seeing, and persist in your assumption, and then it will manifest. But really, I know that signs follow, they don't proceed, but I've seen some small changes, but really nothing major is happening. I'm just wondering if you could unpack that. Well, guys, we're going to unpack this today and more. There's a lot to unpack there, but here's the first thing I want to say, and this is big. I understand that we're talking about denying the 3D world, denying the senses, but I really want you to understand something about your 3D senses. You don't perceive the world through your senses. You create all of it with your senses. Hear this. So if you're going to deny your senses, you're denying the vehicle that creates your entire reality. Do you hear this? It's a subtle thing, but it's big, right? Remember, perceiving equals the perception. You are that reality. This is big, guys. And so, so those small changes that you're seeing, those are not small changes. Those are all the changes. I want to really hit this. Remember, we live in a holographic universe, and every part of that whole contains the whole. So every small change contains all the changes. But it's because you're looking at it. You're looking through that 0.0001% and saying it's a small change. It remains small to you. It contains all of it. Hear this. What you see, what you hear, what you taste, what you smell, what you touch, filters out, hear this, 99.99999% of all that is. So you're not so much perceiving, but you're filtering. You're filtering reality as opposed to creating it, right? And so, well, filtering is creating, but filtering is creating something very small, and you're only seeing what already you think you can see or believe you can see. Do you hear this? This is so big. This is really what it means to allow, or the receiving state. Right? Allowing, meaning when you filter out that 99.9999% of all that is, it's allowing you only to perceive a minuscule portion according to your beliefs, assumptions, thoughts, and feelings. Do you hear that? You're only allowing yourself, as you believe you're perceiving something that's outside of you or in the 3D world, when really you're creating all of it. You're only seeing a minuscule portion of that 99.9999%. You are seeing 0.0001% of infinity. That's big. That's really what it means, the allowing state or the receiving state. It's allowing you to perceive or to receive more of all there is. Hear this. That's big. So those small changes are all the changes. And I'm going to show you this today like we've never talked about it before. So just pause there, guys, because here we go, down the rabbit hole. So that's what's meant by the receiving state or allowing state. With your senses, you create or manifest by allowing more of who you really are to be known or perceived. Do you hear this? That's all manifestation is, right? Perceiving is creating. Right? And you just perceive or allow or receive more of who you really are, more of that whole of infinity. In other words, the 3D you, are receiving more of that dimensionally larger you by shifting your beliefs and assumptions about who you are and your relationship to it. That's what we're talking about when I talked about in other videos about assuming or occupying a new version of yourself. When you assume a new identity, when you assume a newer version of yourself, you shift everything, and now you're seeing or receiving more of that dimensionally larger you. You have changed everything, right? When you change your filters, you change the world, right? Because you're filtering it, right? Through your assumptions, through your beliefs. Right? So it's less about perceiving, it's more about what are you filtering, right? Open those filters up. So let's unpack this a little bit more. So you are this, you are infinity, but you're only perceiving this. Do you see this? It's crazy, right? You're only creating this. Wow, that's big. But here's the good news. Within that tiny 0.0001%, this is really good news, of perceived 3D reality, within that tiny little dot resides all of infinity. Whoa! In that is all of this. Hear me out, guys. It's so big, it changes everything. Because we keep looking at the 3D world as something that we want to create something else, right? But within that 3D world, within that 0.001% is everything you want. It's the hologram. Wow! You, all of infinity resides in you. That little dot, all of it's within you, the 3D world, the universe. In other words, consciousness is a hologram where each part of the piece mirrors the whole of infinity. No matter how you cut it. If you remember those little bookmarks, well, some of you might not remember, but this is from years ago, where it was a hologram when you would turn it. And no matter how many times you could cut that, how many pieces you cut that bookmark in, within each little piece was the entire picture. The entire image. Wow! So consciousness is a hologram where each part of the piece mirrors the whole. Let's get at this a little bit more. In the holographic universe, there is here and then there, and yeah, in the holographic, there is here and then is now. This is what Neville Goddard pointed to, right? Make the future now. Make the elsewhere here, right? But in the holographic universe, there is here and then is now. There is no space, there is no time, there is no separation. There is here and then is now. Neville Goddard says you make elsewhere here in the future now. That's what Neville was pointing at. The holographic nature and the non-locality of the universe. Right? Non-locality means it's everywhere. Right? Holographic means in every part of that everywhere. Every point or piece of that everywhere is everything. Hear this again. So non-local universe, non-local creation means it's everywhere. And the holographic nature means that everywhere, in every part of it, every point within that everywhere is everything. That's so big. That's what Neville's getting at. That's why you can make the elsewhere here in the future now. That's why imagining is creating, right? The future event is a reality now in a dimensionally larger world. That's what Neville's getting at. These are quotes from Neville. Right? Now is equivalent to here in the ordinary three-dimensional space of everyday life. Now, because there is no space and time. So now must be here. Do you hear it? Right? The future event is reality now in that dimensionally larger world. And then he says, oddly enough, now is equivalent to here in that ordinary three-dimensional space of everyday life. Oddly enough, he's right. It is odd until you really understand that we're in a non-local holographic universe. We're not in it. The universe is in us. And all of creation's a hologram. Infinity is a hologram, and it's non-local. That makes sense. Now is equivalent to here because there is no space, there is no time, there is no separation. This is mind-blowing, guys. Let's go down the rabbit hole a little further. Infinity, the quantum field, divine matrix, infinite intelligence, all that is, whatever you want to call it, is non-local and holographic. Means that not only is everything connected and that there's no separation, but each and every point within it contains the whole of all that is. Whew. Guys, this is so powerful. This is the game changer. right? You no longer have to feel beaten down by 3D reality, because within 3D reality is everything you want, right? That's why you can make the there here in the future now, because it all already is. It just is. It's not in the future. It's not over there. It just is, right? This and this. That's why you can make the there here in the future now, because it all already is. It all already is. Everything is energy and consciousness. And while this energy is constantly vibrating, it doesn't go anywhere. It's already everywhere and within everything, right? Sometimes we said, please send me prayers. I want to send prayers to somebody. Or I want to send good thoughts. You're not sending anything. It vibrates, it moves, but it doesn't go anywhere, because there is nowhere to go. It's all right now, right here. That's big. That's so big. Okay, so it's not that energy, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and assumptions travel anywhere. It is that energy is already everywhere right now. When you pray, you don't send your prayers or anything anywhere. Once your prayer is within you, it's everywhere and in all time. Once you have that prayer, you don't even have to send it. It's already everywhere. It's already in all time. It affects past, present, and future. Right? That's why you hear these non-blind, these double-blind tests where they pray for patients in various hospitals. It's all very random. But then they reveal at the end of it that they were really praying for patients that were like 20 or 30 years ago, and that it changed those results. That's what we're talking about here. That's the power here. When you pray, it affects all time. It affects everywhere, right? Instantly. Your prayers are always received instantly. Everything, all that is already connected and already everywhere and in all time. Wow, that's big. Can you imagine this, guys? That's the power of prayer. It doesn't only change what you believe is right now. It changes the past, present, and in future, because there is only now. That's why when they do those experiments, why they get those kind of results. Right? But again, they're always mixed sometimes, because it's humans doing it. But it overwhelmingly shows the connection. That's big. So let's unpack this a little bit more. What's the key takeaway? A change anywhere, at any time, means a change everywhere, in all time. Wow. Right? And there is no big or small. Any change anywhere changes and shifts all that is within the whole. It's a hologram. So any small change, what you judge as a small change, is a change of everything. There is no big and small. Can you imagine the implications of your everyday life? Whatever you're doing that you think is minor or small or insignificant or doesn't matter, it all matters, because it's all connected. It's all right now. It's all everywhere, and within that everywhere, within that everything, any point in that everything contains everything. Wow, that's big, right? Like a hologram that contains the original image in all its infinite parts. Any change to any one part is reflected everywhere in all parts, right? That's how NCIS, right? Those crime shows. That's how those crime shows crack all those crimes. They get a little thing of blood, or even a hair. Within that hair, or within that blood, contains all of the information of that person, whoever the suspect is, right? That's it, because it's a hologram. DNA, it all is. Everything's patterned in the universe after a hologram and beyond creation, right? So guys, this is so big today. So the 3D world you, when you make even one tiny change here in that what you see as small, that 0.001%, that change is reflected everywhere and in all time. We get so caught up on regretting the past or anxiety about the future or not liking our present situation or thinking that the changes that we can make are small or thinking what we're doing is insignificant or thinking that we don't matter. You matter. Every movement, every thought, every assumption matters. There is no big or small. It's all connected. It's all affecting this. This is within you. Right? That 99.99999% of unseen plus that 0.0001% is all there is. Right? Shifting identities to a new version of yourself then changes everything. That's what we're getting at. And there's some videos on that. I'll do more future videos on that. If you want to look into parallel realities, debunking linear time, and you'll see some of my lessons on shifting your identity, right? Your current 3D may look the same, but it's not the same, right? You shift all the time. You're shifting realities. And you're looking at 3D thinking nothing's changed, but it's always changing, right? You have shifted to a new timeline and a new alternative parallel reality like you always do, right? You change all time, past, present, and future. That's how the holographic universe changes everything. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. Don't forget to share the channel with your friends, your families, and coworkers, and the videos on your social media. That's how we grow. You can follow us on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Karen. We also have a group called The Ambassadors at Be Something Wonderful on Facebook if you want to join that. And you can visit our website anytime at tomkaren.com or besomethingwonderful.com. Until next time, with great love and great light, this is Tom. See you soon.